Hello, Scorpio. Today is July 2nd, 2025, and I want to gently invite you into a moment of stillness, a space where the voice of the universe doesn't speak in sound, but through something you can feel deep in your chest. The moon is in its first quarter, tracing a quiet arc across the sky, and the energy of this day isn't here to demand or push. It's here to remind you to turn inward, to look gently at what's stirring beneath the surface, at what you've been avoiding, at what's quietly rising from the deeper waters of your heart. This moon phase is a turning point, a halfway space between planting and blooming, between wishing and becoming, between belief and uncertainty. For you, Scorpio, who lives so close to mystery and unspoken truth, this is a time when something hidden might begin to reveal itself, not through logic, not through proof, but through a feeling you can't ignore. Maybe it's a truth you've been pushing down. Maybe it's a wound that's ready to heal, or maybe it's a part of yourself that's been waiting for your attention patiently. In the dark, in Vedic astrology, your ruling planet Mars is now traveling with Ketu in Leo. Mars stirs up your desire to act, to assert, to take control. But Ketu, the south node, the part of us that releases attachment, is whispering something else entirely. It's asking you not to fight, not to win, not to prove, but to pause, to witness, to choose stillness over struggle and silence over the urge to explain. And in that quiet, Scorpio, your heart might finally touch a truth that words have never been able to reach. But here, like an older sister who's walked through her own shadows, just to remind you, there is nothing wrong with not knowing. There is no weakness in resting, and today is a day to do just that with courage, with honesty, and with deep, unwavering tenderness for yourself. When it comes to your work and finances today, Scorpio, there's something quietly sharpening inside of you, like a blade being honed not through force, but through precision. Mercury, the planet of communication and intellect, is moving powerfully through the sky, and in Vedic astrology today marks the sharper edges, a sacred alignment that awakens the sharper edges of the mind and the hidden chambers of intuition. This isn't the kind of day where action bursts forth in loud, dramatic ways. Instead, it's the kind of day where whispers guide you better than shouting ever could. You may feel pulled to sit down with your planner, to look at your goals, to reread a contract or rethink a strategy. Not because you're uncertain, but because something within you wants more clarity, more alignment, more truth behind every intention. There is a silent intelligence at work in your mind today, and the universe is asking you to listen closely to it. Your intuition will feel more alive than usual, like it's not just a feeling, but a fully formed language that your body and spirit understand before your mind catches up. So, if you're planning something new in your career or making financial decisions, this is a day to write it out. Draw the map, play with possibilities. It's a day to negotiate quietly, to send the email you've rewritten 5 times, or to initiate a conversation that has been circling your mind for weeks. But it is not yet a day to finalize, to sign, or to leap blindly forward. There are still pieces missing, still angles unseen, still a layer beneath the surface that wants your attention before you decide anything that carries weight. And so, Scorpio, use today not to declare, but to observe, to let the information come to you as you soften your grip. Trust that what is meant for you won't slip away just because you took one more day to breathe, to feel, to check in with your deepest knowing. You are not behind. You are preparing with intention. And that more than anything is what sets you apart. In matters of the heart, Scorpio, today invites you to sit with what's unspoken, not just in the space between you and another, but in the quiet between you and your own heart. If you're in a connection right now, you may sense that something is being withheld, that there's a layer they haven't shared with you yet, a truth tucked beneath their silence. But this isn't necessarily deception, it's hesitation. It's the vulnerability of someone who hasn't yet found the words for what they carry. And as tempting as it may be to press, to ask, to demand clarity, today teaches you that sometimes love means holding space rather than holding answers. It means trusting that when they're ready, they'll bring you their truth, not out of fear, but out of choice. And that kind of truth, the voluntary kind, is worth waiting for. If you're walking this day alone, unattached, single in name or in spirit, the energy around you still pulses with meaning. This is not a day to look outward for someone to complete you. This is a day to turn inward, to ask yourself gently and without judgment, what kind of love am I truly ready to receive? Not the love that fills a void, not the love that distracts you from yourself, but the kind of love that mirrors back the work you've done, the healing you've chosen, the boundaries you've reclaimed. Consider writing a letter today, not to a future partner, but to yourself. A love letter from the version of you who knows her worth, who forgives her past, who does not chase, but instead magnetizes. Let this letter be your offering, your intention, your sacred declaration that the next time love arrives, it will meet a heart that is already full, already whole, already home. And above all, Scorpio, remember this: emotional honesty begins with you. If you want someone to speak their truth, show them how safe it feels to speak yours. If you long for intimacy, become intimate with your own fears, your own hopes, your own softness. Today is not about finding someone to love you. It is about remembering how far you've come and learning to love yourself. And from that place, everything changes. When it comes to your body and your inner world today, Scorpio, there is something burning quietly beneath the surface, something that may not yet have a name, but is very much alive inside you. With Mars, your ruling planet, pulsing intensely through the sky, the element of fire is building within you, not necessarily in visible ways, but in subtle undercurrents, tension in the shoulders, an inexplicable restlessness, the sense that something needs to be said or released, but keeps getting pushed back into silence. And the tricky part is you may feel fine. You may go through your day convinced that everything is under control, that your calm is proof of balance. But this kind of calm, Scorpio, can be deceptive. It's the calm that comes not from peace, but from suppression. It's the stillness that forms when feelings are too heavy to express, and so they are tucked away one by one until the body begins to carry the weight that the heart cannot. That is why today is not asking you to push through, to ignore the signals, or to numb what you're feeling. Today is a quiet invitation to return to your emotional body, to listen to what it's been trying to tell you, not through words, but through fatigue, through subtle aches, through sudden irritability or waves of emotion that seem to come from nowhere. You don't need to fix anything right now. What you need is space to feel, space to let those emotions move without judgment. Practices like meditation, breath work, or simply sitting in silence with soft music can give your emotions the room they need to unfold safely. Even the act of writing, without editing, without purpose, just letting your hand move across the page, can release what's been trapped. Miss Scorpio, you above all others know the cost of burying too much too deeply. You know how the soul begins to ache when it is not allowed to speak. So today, give your soul that chance. You don't need to explain it to anyone. You don't need to turn it into a story or a lesson. Just feel what you feel. Let the fire find its form. Let the tears come if they need to. Let the silence heal what words cannot. Your body has been carrying more than it shows. And your spirit is ready for softness, ready for exhale, ready to come home. Tonight, under the quiet gaze of the first quarter moon, there is a soft but sacred invitation for you, Scorpio, to let go. Not in anger, not in defeat, but in reverence. Because there comes a moment when carrying something any longer becomes heavier than setting it down. And the moon, in her half-lit wisdom, reminds us that it is not in the fullness that clarity is found, but in the spaces where light and shadow meet. This is a moon of reckoning, a moon that asks, what are you still holding on to, even though it no longer fits the shape of who you are becoming? So tonight, I invite you to prepare a simple ritual, not elaborate, not performative, but honest. Find a quiet space where you can be alone with yourself, with no distractions, no noise, just your breath and your truth. Take a sheet of paper and begin to write. Write down the names, the memories, the beliefs, the fears, or the unspoken aches that you know have lingered too long inside you. Maybe it's a relationship that still haunts the edges of your heart. Maybe it's a version of yourself that you've outgrown but still mourn. Maybe it's a belief that you are too much or not enough. Let it all come through. Don't filter, don't justify, just pour it out as it wants to come. When you're ready, fold the paper gently as if you were tucking a child into bed for the last time. Light a candle, or if the moon is visible, let her silver light witness you. Hold the paper close to your chest and take a breath, not a rushed breath, but one that touches the depth of your belly. And then with intention, place the paper into a fire-safe bowl or flame. and let it burn. As it does, whisper, not loudly, but with the full weight of your truth. I do not need to control everything to feel safe. I release, I surrender. I trust the sacred current of my life to carry me exactly where I need to go. Let the ashes be your offering. Let the silence after the flame be your prayer. Let this ritual be your return to trust, to flow, to your own resilience. You are not empty when you let go. You are being made spacious for something greater, something truer, something you are finally ready to receive. To close this reflection, Scorpio, carry with you the quiet power of symbols and affirmations that speak not through noise, but through resonance. Small truths that act like threads, connecting your heart to the unseen guidance moving through your day. Your lucky numbers today are 2, 11, and 27. These are not coincidences or curiosities, but energetic markers. The number 2 holds the energy of balance, union, and duality, reminding you to walk gently between opposites without rushing to resolve them. The number 11 is a spiritual portal, often appearing when your intuition is speaking louder than the world around you. And 27 holds the weight of closure and rebirth. It is the number of those who are ready to complete a cycle and begin again with deeper wisdom. The color that holds you today is turquoise, a soft but vibrant reminder that intuition does not scream, it whispers. Let this color find you, whether in your clothing, your space, or your inner visualization. Turquoise is not here to dazzle or impress. It is here to soothe the places inside you that ache for clarity. It quiets the mind and softens the ego, allowing your deeper knowing to rise without needing permission. In terms of connection, the signs most aligned with your energy today are Pisces, Cancer, and Capricorn. These signs offer something you may be needing right now. Pisces brings emotional depth without explanation, a reminder that not everything needs to be named to be real. Cancer offers safety, the kind that comes not from control, but from presence. And Capricorn grounds you, offering the steady truth that discipline can be a form of devotion when it comes from love, not fear. And as you move through this day, Scorpio, hold this affirmation close, not as a mantra to fix or force anything, but as a soft anchor for your spirit. I walk quietly beside the moonlight, allowing what must fall to fall from my hands. I do not need all the answers right now because I am the sacred question the universe has been waiting to unfold. Let that truth settle into your bones. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are becoming in silence, in depth, in divine timing. And before we part ways for now, I want to leave you with this, something not pulled from the stars, but from the heart of someone who has walked through the dark just as you are walking now. If today you feel tired for reasons you can't quite name, if your thoughts move in quiet circles like waves that never settle, if you're holding yourself together when all you really want is a moment to unravel, I want you to know that none of this makes you weak. It makes you human. It makes you honest. It brings you closer to the truth of who you are becoming. We often believe that transformation has to be dramatic, loud, definitive, but more often than not, real change happens in the pause, in the breath you take before reacting, in the choice to release rather than resist, in the quiet decision to look at your pain, not with fear, but with compassion. Scorpio doesn't fear the dark. You have lived with it long enough to understand that even in the shadows, there is light, there is direction. And today, I trust that you're already hearing its voice, even if you don't yet have the words. I'm not here to promise that everything will be easy, but I will promise this. You are on the right path if you are listening to your heart. You do not need to control everything. You do not need to have all the answers. There is a deeper wisdom moving through you, living inside you, guiding you even when you feel lost. And if you forget that, I'll be here to remind you. I'll see you again at the next moon. My name is Selena, and I believe with every part of me that no matter where you are on your path, you are being held, you are already enough, and you are always, always loved.